right, cough, whatever you got to do. I know you got back from the shrink. All right.
Hold on, one more drag of my vape.
You just took a drag. It's so funny. My parents used to have this dog named Winston.
I remember Winston.
Do you? The German Shepherd?
Yeah.
He had a leg removed at one point, and at first he was named after Winston Churchill, but then after they removed his leg, I was like, he's no longer named after Winston Churchill. He's named after Winston the cigarettes, because now you have to take him for a drag instead of a walk.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Tom and Pete.
Two middle-aged idiots.
All right, buddy, we're back. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Still trying to sell my house. As you know, it fell through the sale. And now I'm kind of back to square one. I had someone come over yesterday to look at my house.
Yeah.
He said, well, there's a problem because I'm allergic to cats. And I'm like, well, the cats aren't staying here, you know? And it's like, I have wood floors, right? And I've got one carpeted room, my bedroom. And I said, I'll switch out the carpeting, you know, and like you have the place professionally cleaned. But it's kind of like, I mean, when people pick at stuff like that, it's kind of like, dude, the cats aren't staying, you know? I mean, The walls can be painted if you don't like the colors.
Do you want me to euthanize my cats or something? Like,
yeah, exactly. What do you want me to do? So, I've been watching, keeping an eye on Indiana's basketball. They've been announcing some things. They've got a new recruit, and he's from Serbia or someplace like that.
Right.
I'm excited about that. And
okay, dude, I got to tell you something really fast. I saw my nephew Gabe at the gym, our club, the other day, a couple of nights ago. I was doing a late evening workout, and I saw him on the basketball courts as I was leaving. He's got a pretty good shot. He threw the ball to me. I just like made a shot from the outside. It's like, yeah, let's see how your feet are. So we did a little one-on-one. My brain acted like I was at 22. Like those moves were right there, and man, that was great. My feet, however, had a different plan. I fucking just bit it.
Did you really?
My knees are all bloodied up still today.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I just realized I'm old, man. I just can't play like I used to.
Hey, is Gabe the one who's going to Indiana next year for school?
That's right. That's right.
As soon as you said Gabe, I'm like, uh-oh, here comes the Tom. Will you be his mentor and roommate? Thank God they don't allow freshmen to live off campus because
okay, I'm not going to waste too much time, but speaking of sports, I'm going to bring that in as our segue. Okay, this guy, he's, in addition to being so many things, he's also quite the athlete too.
Really?
Or at least an athletic supporter. I'm going to go ahead and beat him to that joke.
He's a jockstrap.
But his sport is hockey. That's his big thing. And it's not just because he's Canadian, and not just because he knows Wayne Gretzky. And okay, I'm going to go away from the sports and get into how I know him.
Okay.
Well, our kids went to the same nursery school together back in the day, Sherman Oaks Nursery School, old T-Sons. But I believe he might be the co-founder, or at least the co-executive producer and head writer of America's Funniest Videos. I'm sure you've heard of it.
I have a beef with him though, so I can't wait to ask him my first question.
God, man, you're starting off negative already.
I know.
Welcome with a smile. You're like,
this guy's not going to even want to come forward now, you know?
Right. Well, all right. I'm going to bring him on. This guy is my friend, the talented Todd Thicke. Todd, welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, nice to speak with you. I know I love the introduction. I sound better than I am. I know I've got a beef coming from Tom any second. Jeez. I don't know if I'm going to be here or not.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Before Tom starts his kvetching, I just want to say how fucking good you look. I mean, dude, you have not aged a bit.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I agree. I was saying that to someone recently, I've got to starve myself now to be 10 pounds overweight. I don't know if you get to that position. And I just want to get trimmer. I'm trying to get down to my birth weight, to see if I can just
right
down to trimmer than I am. But thank you. We all look good.
We do. Three nice looking gentlemen here. I think that's pretty cool. Now, a lot of people might not know that, you've got some famous relatives as well as your own accomplishments. You want to tell us who's in your family that most of our audience knows?
Yeah. My big brother and mentor and best friend is Alan Thicke from Growing Pains fame, and he was a talk show host. He did a bunch of movies and wrote a ton of theme songs. And unfortunately, Alan passed away a couple of years ago suddenly, so I miss him every day. But we're always, everywhere I go, somebody's got an Alan Thicke story. They met him somewhere.
I've got one too. So
okay, I want to hear that. And of course, Robin is my nephew. Robin Thicke on The Masked Singer and the R&B star. So yeah, there's a lot of show business in the family. A lot of show business in the family.
That's really cool.
And I'm America's funniest home videos guy. So every time somebody gets hit in the crotch, I make 2 cents.
Exactly. Now, interestingly, when your brother passed away, I got a call from Optima Tax Relief, and for a while I kind of took over as their voice for a while, but now they haven't used me lately. But that was like my connection is that, and those are big shoes to fill with Optima Tax.
Oh, that's great. I've got an Optima Tax Relief golf shirt that Alan gave me that I wear sometimes, and I know I would have worn it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, Alan was a master.
Go ahead.
He was a master of swag. Every time he'd go to a celebrity golf tournament or a celebrity tennis tournament or something, he'd get an extra shirt or an extra cap or tennis racket, and we'd hand it out to the family. So we were all walking around with these logos, these brands from different events that he'd gone to.
Funny. Yeah. There's some good people over there at Optima, though. I know that they told me that, we're really going to miss Alan, but, we need someone and we like your energy. So, but they didn't last too long. Once in a while, I think I have a couple of ones that are still floating, but it's not like, when I was getting him consistently, because that was a pretty big gig for him.
Yeah, and he always spoke highly of them as well. He always said very nice things about them and their relationship. So that's nice that you picked up a mantle.
Optima Tax Relief. Okay.
So Tom, is that your complaint?
No, my complaint's not that. I'll tell you my complaint.
I have to listen to this. Okay.
First of all, the show was ingenious and it was awesome, and we always loved watching it. But what we ended up doing sometimes was turning down the volume because the videos almost spoke for themselves, but there was a voice that go, "Oh, no, I think I'm going to take the dog for a walk. Look out." Some of those things were a bit much. That's all I was going to say.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for having me. No, some people said that. But you hit a really interesting point, Tom. Is that one reason the show has done so well? Is that in crowded places like dormitories or airports or bars, if you can't hear it, you can still watch it. And you don't need the language. Sometimes we would do those jokes to try to help point you where to look.
Right.
Sometimes it's to point your eye, to what was going to happen, or to say that people were okay. We're always very concerned with recovery.
Right.
When somebody skis off the roof into the back of their pickup truck. We want to make sure. But except for that, I'm really offended.
Todd, okay, wait. So this show has been running forever and still in syndication. I can imagine. How many years?
It's season 36 now, and it's in 93 countries around the world. Wow. Some do their own versions. Australia's funniest home videos. They just use the clips and the format. Others just show the show and dub it in. Others do their own version, video gag in France. So yeah, it's all over. It was kind of YouTube before YouTube existed.
Right. So how did that change for you once YouTube and social media came into being? Did it help popularize it even more, or did it compete with it? What sort of impact did that have on you?
It really helped. We weren't sure. The new media is so new. No one knows how it's going to impact things. But it really helped. We got more videos. More videos come in. And they know that when they watch AFV, the videos are curated. You go look for them online and you can get a whole mess of them. We were very selective in what we would show. And we tried to appeal to our audience was 8 to 80. We want a broad audience. So there's something for you, and there's something for the kids sitting in front of the TV in their pajamas, and there's something for your grandmother who's sitting there. There's something to appeal to everyone. So we really wanted it to be, G-rated and very family friendly. A lot of people use the word safe when they describe the show, because what can you put your kid in front of the TV and leave them that's not violent or has something bad that's happening to it or inappropriate language. And we were very family friendly and took a lot of pride in that, It's funny, there was a moment that the network wanted to make it sexy and hip. When network changed, we thought that's just not what the tone of it is. The tone is family friendly, So yeah, 36 seasons, and it's the audience is as strong as ever.
Right.
And there's always audience, people grow up, and now the people who watched it when they were kids are showing it to their kids.
Yeah, and then the different hosts that you've had throughout the years too. I mean, that's been just spectacular.
Bob Saget's the one I remember the most.
Oh, Bob.
That's what I think you were referring to. I got the Saget reference there, Tom.
Yeah, that was definitely the Saget, because that was his voice on a lot of those, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and he would do. He used to joke that he'd have three voices, and he'd do the same three voices, and he'd do it. And he's a comic, so he'd want to do a joke. He'd want to have that. When Tom Bergeron came, and Tom was so fantastic, he approached it differently, more as a broadcaster. So he had even more of a wry commentary on the clips, where Bob would become one of the characters. He'd become the dog or the kid flying off the trampoline. And Tom would have more wry commentary. So it's finding their right tone, the right style for them. And now it's Alfonso, who's got his own thing also. So every host is different. You just try not to get in the way of the videos.
What's interesting about Bob is I only pretty much knew him from the sitcom that he did and your show. But then all of a sudden I saw this show. I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's about these comedians all telling the same joke. And
the Aristocrats.
The Aristocrats. And he is the dirtiest and the most crude. And I've heard that before, that it's Bob Saget he seems all wholesome and friendly when you see him on America's Funniest Videos. But boy, when you get him on stage, when there isn't a rated G, the guy is just hilariously rude and funny.
Indeed, he was. I miss Bob every day too. I miss him, and he was such an interesting combination of characteristics, because that Danny Tanner on Full House, or the G-rated guy on America's Videos, that was him. That is definitely part of his personality. He's sweet and generous and kind, and yet the blue, dirty, raunchy humor that's part of him too. He's both. He's both. And that's what made him so fun.
Yeah.
And he had this crazy energy.
Yeah.
We used to go and we'd write on the stage at Full House. We'd write in his dressing room. So I'm watching the show on the monitor in his dressing room with my computer ready to type when he comes up. So we're going to write. And watching him at Full House, and he'd burst up the stairs and burst into the dressing room, and we'd write for 5 minutes. And then Dave Coulier would come in, or John Stamos would come in, or Candace would come in. They'd all joke and chase each other around, and then they're gone. And I'm looking around, still trying to type a joke here. He had this crazy, fabulous energy, great energy. That sweet, lovely, generous, kind-hearted guy. So it was sad to see him go so suddenly. Alan left suddenly, and Bob left suddenly.
two very important people in your life that you obviously cherish, you know?
Yeah. And so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. Both of them were just this great energy and always a lot of laughs and a little unpredictable. So both are gone. But I recognize you were talking about Saget's voiceovers, his three voices, as he would say. Three voices.
You know, I never had the pleasure of meeting Bob, but I did get to meet Alan multiple times. You know, he was kind enough to participate in this documentary that I did, and interviewed him over at his house, and of course in your backyard watching the fireworks, you know, out over the golf course, and just have really, really fun memories. And he was just always just so kind and fucking hilarious. Oh my God. Like I just laughed so much just watching you two riff.
He was an outrageous character. I remember David Letterman was doing a bit. Alan was quite an athlete also, and he played hockey, and it was everything, tennis and golf and skiing, and he liked to keep his pool really, really hot, like in the high 90s, with his swimming pool that he'd go in. So Letterman was doing a bit where check the temperature of Alan Thicke's pool every night, and he'd go there and he'd say, "What's the temperature of Alan Thicke's pool today?" Every night he'd check how Alan's pool was warmed up that day. So it was, he was an interesting character.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And now a word from our sponsor. And back to the show. Todd, going back to AFV, and you said 36, 37 years?
Yes. In 1989, I wrote the pilot, which is in the Smithsonian.
Right.
In 1989.
Yeah. I remember, I think we were both married at the time, and there was some connection. I can't remember what was happening, but anyway, I just remember we were supposed to try to get together with you or something, but it was like, no, the AFV's being inducted into the Smithsonian. Like, wow, okay, I understand why he doesn't want to hang out anymore. At all.
But we're not married anymore, so now we can get together, I guess.
That's right, exactly.
At the Smithsonian.
We'll talk about that more too.
Please.
Okay.
It was fun. When I went to the induction ceremony at the Smithsonian, and there's Judy Garland's ruby slippers, and there's Archie Bunker's chair, and Fonzie's leather jacket. And I see my script from the pilot episode on this little presentation table. We're going to start the presentation. I run over there with my family, and I'm grab the script, and I'm leafing through the script that they're going to induct. And then the ceremony starts, and we sit down, and a lady comes out with white gloves on, and she holds the script up that I was just licking and turning the pages and scribbling notes on. A moment, she's got the white gloves and holding the script up like a game show model. So now it's on permanent display at the Smithsonian, and in fact, I'll probably be on display at the Smithsonian at some point myself.
They'll wheel you in with the white gloves.
With the white gloves.
So, what was that initial pitch like? It was you and Vin that pitched it, or did Vin pitch it himself?
Vin DeBona. I was doing we had done a show, Thick of the Night, a late night talk show, which was I think the LA Times called it a disaster of Vesuvian proportions. Ouch.
Yeah,
ouch.
No kidding.
But one of the segments that I did on the show was the home video awards. People were just getting home video cameras, and I wanted to do a segment where you send in your clips and we'd do the awards. And then the show tanked, but the idea was still there.
Yeah.
And I pitched it to Warner Brothers, and we were searching for a deal. And Vin DeBona at the same time had gone to Tokyo and had bought some video clips from Tokyo Broadcasting. And I'd been working with Vin on a couple of other shows, and we got together, and 36 seasons later, people are still getting hit with pinata sticks, you know?
So what was Warner Brothers the ones that picked it up then? Or
it was ABC. It was ultimately ABC. with Vin. We were doing a show for ABC at the time, so we went to ABC and they liked it, and we did it as a special, and then it just went through the roof. And we were doing half hours at the time, and they said, "Oh, the show will never sustain a half an hour, or an hour. You could never do an hour with it." Now it's 8 million episodes later. It's yeah. So, but we knew right away. I knew right away. I'd written a couple of pilots that season, and in the audience, and I was with Saget. We were standing there as the reels were playing, and I just never heard laughs like that before. I'd written sitcoms and stand-up, and I just never heard those kind of laughs. We knew we had, lightning in a bottle. It was just huge laughs. Man.
That must have just been incredible. And so did you have a set and a host? Was it sort of the same structure as it was from day one?
Yeah, pretty much. We had to find the right tone, even though it seemed simple. And Saget hosted the pilot. And I like to think that I suggested him, but I know his name came from 10 different places. Right. We were all looking for hosts. Who's the right guy? And he just made a lot of sense. He was this rising star also on ABC, and he was just fresh-faced young comedian with a family. I just thought he's perfect. So his name came from a lot of places. But, a lot of it was getting the right tone. A lot of people were pitching like, this is about failure and people doing stupid things. And I felt, no, it's not about that. It's really about celebrating. We can show celebrating weddings and babies and birthdays, and you show that the mishaps that happen. But these are mostly it's celebratory, instead of saying, these people are so stupid and what a loser and no, I didn't want to denigrate our people.
Exactly.
And putting America in the title, even America's Funniest Home Videos, because I wanted longevity. Yeah. And something that's too hip or sexy burns out sometimes. So I wanted something with longevity. And America, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. We all love America. It didn't matter who we all do. That I think would go to style.
Right.
So it was perfect for Disney. Disney felt it was just the perfect tone for them. And Disney, of course, is ABC. So it was just the perfect Sunday at 7 show, family show.
Exactly. There's this one video, I'm sure, because you've done, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. There's one in particular that my kids, whom we still refer to today, and we'll watch it once in a while just to I don't know, make us laugh, because it's something that they laughed at in their childhood. But it's this mom and I think her daughter, and she's saying, how old are you? She's like, I'm 4. What are you going to be next year? A duck. And she's thinking what she's going to be for Halloween.
Right.
I'm sure you don't remember, but it's one that just sticks with us. And it's just, for some reason, it just hits us so hard, and it's so funny. It's so cute and wholesome.
I remember every video. I swear I do. They all mean something to me. I remember everything. I gave an interview once, and my favorites change. Everybody asked, what's your favorite video? And it changes over the years from time to time. And at that time, I described it was like the world's ugliest dog. And it had these big bulging eyes and this long tongue and these flaring nostrils, and it had patchy skin. And it was the ugliest dog, but it was just adorable. And I described this dog for this interview. And then for about 3 years afterwards, if anyone would Google me or look up my name, that picture would come up. That was with my name on it. Well, okay, I'm not doing that again. I'm not.
Right. Oh my God. That is
yeah.
hilarious. Oh my God. What other shows have you done, Todd? I know you've said you've written for other sitcoms, and if you can talk about those roles, whether they were, staff writer, head writer, showrunner.
Yeah, I pitched a lot. I've written a lot of sitcoms like Growing Pains. I wrote a bunch of Growing Pains, Alan's episode and it was funny, there were so many celebrities on Growing Pains. It went on to be Brad Pitt. I remember Brad Pitt. I wrote an episode about a rock star, and Brad Pitt paid the rock star on the show. And I remember talking to him after the show and thinking, boy, this guy's going somewhere, I think. Wow. This guy's going to be something. And of course, Leo DiCaprio was on Growing Pains. And I remember in the writer's room them saying, let's give this kid more stuff. He can do all. This kid's good. So we started writing more for him. And Hillary Swank and all the different kinds of people were on Growing Pains. And I wrote parades. I wrote Disney parades, the Christmas parade and the Easter parade and the pageants, This World, and a lot of award shows and things like that. And I dabbled in movies, a lot of punch up for features. Now I've got a play. It's not my play. I'm producing it with another couple of people, a musical that we just working on in Toronto. We did one live performance with a full orchestra a few months ago, and we're just trying to see how we put the rest of it together. It's a fun thing to do.
What's the premise of the musical?
Oh, it's really interesting. It's kind of like a Les Mis. Les Mis, a Sweeney Todd. It's kind of set in New Orleans about love and betrayal and sex and music and money, and it's really fantastic.
All of my favorite things.
That's right. It sounds like your Saturday night.
Well, what I long to do on a Saturday night, but
yeah. I like to work on a bunch of different. I've written for a lot of comics too. It's fun to write. A lot of my friends are comedians. It's been fun to dabble in a bunch of things.
Oh, I'm sure. Speaking of money, I'm wondering, when someone sends off, well, back then it would have been a VHS cassette or something like that, for the funniest home videos. Do they lose rights to that? Do you pay them a little bit to use it? I mean, their publicity, right? Everything's like on that screen, and that's, something that they own, they send off.
The show was a contest.
You're good. You're right. You're right. We do need a clearance from everything. We have a big clearance department. Always had a huge clearance department clearing every person in the videos. And that is, as you were saying before, Darren, how has it changed in the internet world? That has changed part of the clearance and the rights issues you're talking about, Tom, because sometimes when you send a video now, it's also on YouTube or Instagram, and you put it on your Facebook, and there's a contest, there's $10,000 involved, or maybe $100,000 to win the contest. And is it fair if you just send me your video and somebody else's video has already got a million hits on Instagram? So, it's a much more, rights are much more complicated now than they used to be, especially when there's money involved, that somebody can win money. Every clip is slightly different. The rights for every clip is slightly different, and some can be cleared in just the United States and Canada, and some are cleared for Europe, but not in Canada. So it's a very complicated issue. Back in the day, it was much simpler. You just own everything in perpetuity worldwide, and now it's just more complicated. Not bad, just different. And having money involved, because it's a contest, that complicates things also.
Yeah.
So you have to be very above board and transparent because there's money involved.
Hey, Darren, Where's David Ratner when we need him?
I know. One of our previous guests was one of my favorites, entertainment lawyers. If you haven't heard it, listener, go back to, I don't know, it's like episode 3 or.
It's a complicated issue. Rights is a complicated issue.
Absolutely.
And even music rights. I think we were doing in the pilot, there was a baby that sang Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Lip sync Frank Sinatra. And it was very expensive to use the Sinatra record. And very expensive. And we felt that for the pilot, it was worth it to pay for it.
Yeah.
It was so good. The clip was so good and so sweet and special that at least for the first few runs, it was worth it to pay for Sinatra, which is not cheap. And then for subsequent runs, now it's aired 30 times, you do a sound alike or something like that. But early on, it was, sometimes you got to bite the bullet and pay for something. It's worth it, even if it's short. And that was,
And now a word from our sponsor. And back to the show. Todd, shifting gears here to some of the stuff that you're doing outside of this, like I don't know, hockey. You still playing hockey?
Okay, since COVID, I haven't been on the ice as much. Just because it shut it down, and then I'm exhausted just getting my equipment on. Just putting the. Really, by the time I get my elbow pads on and I tape my knees and I tie up my skates, I want to lie down.
I feel that way with skiing. Yeah, same.
Oh, skiing, the effort you must put into it, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot just to get dressed. I do, and it was just the Stanley Cup. It was just the Stanley Cup was just on, so I was at a different pub every night watching the Stanley Cup. I don't know, it was so exciting. It was so.
Were you rooting for the Oilers or where?
I was because I know it. Well, I'm from Toronto.
Okay.
But Canada wanted a victory, and the Oilers represented the entire country.
Sure.
And so I thought, and Florida's fantastic, and a great team, but I thought Canada needed a win. And Connor McDavid, he is otherworldly. The star for the Oilers, Darren. He's just like next level. He's just and he hasn't won the cup yet. So I wanted him to win it too, because this guy is just on another level. He's another planet.
Yeah.
I used to joke with Alan. So this is the way we play. It's like in any sport. Yeah, like when you're playing football, you throw the ball where the receiver is going to be. You lead him, not where you throw it to the point he's going to be at. And so I'd say to Alan, and same with hockey, you pass to the point where the player is going to skate to. And I would tell Alan, well, I'm going to pass not to where a point. I'm going to pass to where you are. Because you're not moving, you're just standing there. Out on the ice.
Well, that concept that you're talking about, that's actually, I believe, Wayne Gretzky's quote that is used in business and every other analogy now, to where you don't skate to where the puck is, you skate to where the puck is going. Or I'm probably butchering the comment, but you get the idea.
Yeah, but no, you nailed it. You nailed that sentiment. And Wayne is so smart. I know you mentioned before. Yeah, he was a longtime family friend, and was at my wedding, which didn't. So maybe I'll blame him. It didn't work out. But no, he's been a longtime family friend and such a wonderful, smart, sensitive guy. And again, he's just next level athlete.
Yeah, the great one.
Next level person.
I've got a Canada trivia question for you. I grew up in the only city in North America, or in the United States, the only city in the United States where you look due south and see Canada. Where am I from?
I know it.
Well, don't
do. It's not Point Roberts, British Columbia, is it?
No.
Okay, so then I give up.
Detroit.
I cave easily.
Detroit, Michigan. You look due south and you see Windsor. It's kind of a trick question in a sense.
It is a trick question, yeah.
Because most people think, well, Alaska looking south, or Maine, or somewhere, but no, it's like Canada. Windsor comes right underneath Detroit. And you look due south, and there's Canada. So
really, okay, all right. Well, I'm going to use that in the next bar trivia.
Yes,
you just won me a beer. You won me a beer.
There you go. I hope I get you a beer. But yeah, we used to watch, because we would get Channel 9 out of Windsor, and they had Hockey Night in Canada. So most places in the U.S. didn't get this stuff. You live in Denver, and you're not going to get a Canadian broadcasting station. But yeah, we grew up with Channel 9 and CKLW, the radio station across the Detroit River. So, and then of course the drinking age was 19 and it was 21. So when we would turn 19, we'd, go over the bridge or through the tunnel to go to Canada to drink. So I kind of feel like an honorary Canuck, an honorary Canadian,
Yeah, I'll give that to you. And Detroit's a big hockey town.
Oh yeah. Big time.
I was playing in a charity game once, and I get hit in the back of the legs, and I got hit in the back, and I look and somebody's firing pucks at me in this charity game. They're shooting pucks at me as I'm skating by, and I look around, and it's Gordie Howe. Howe's on the ice.
No,
and he's got a big stack of pucks, and he's just shooting them at me, laughing. He's laughing as he's hitting me with every puck. And I thought, that's the greatest thing that could happen to me, to get hit by Gordie Howe. The only thing that would be better is if Gordie Howe broke my nose. If he elbowed me in my nose, that would have been better.
I think he played like in 5 or 6 decades because they had him come out when he was like 70 and play like one game for some Hartford whatever team. Well, it wasn't the Whalers, but the guy literally played because he started when he was a teenager, and whatever year it was, he ended up playing in like 6 different decades or something professionally.
Yeah, I think after he died, he still played in 3 games that season. That's how good Gordie Howe was. That's how good he was.
Yeah, he was that good.
He's still on ice.
He's still, yes, indeed.
That is funny.
Yeah. So you're an honorary Canadian. I'll give it to you.
I'll take
give it
it.
to you.
Yeah. You know what? Another thing, I love the national anthem from Canada more than any other national anthem. I'll tell you why. That key change where it goes, "Oh, Canada," that key change just gives me goosebumps.
That's nice. That's great. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, on behalf of Canadians everywhere, I tip my Molsons to you.
I like that. Give me a Labatt or a Molson. I'm good.
I've had the pleasure of working in Canada, multiple places, Montreal and Vancouver quite a bit. I did that for 2 years. But also Toronto, and I absolutely love working in all those places, mostly Toronto and Vancouver. But Toronto was absolutely fantastic. Man, those winters were so fucking brutal, though. Wow.
Yeah. Although I must say, because I've lived in LA a long time, I miss the seasons, kind of. I think it's important. The seasons keep you in touch with life or the appreciation of a good day. Every day in LA is perfect. It's boring, Every day is fabulous.
Yeah, whereas Vancouver, it's in the winter it just rains.
Soggy.
Yeah, just constantly. But I remember.
How did that affect your work, Darren? How did that affect work?
We just had rain gear. That's it. I mean, you just dealt with it. I mean, you're inside and you pick your locations if you're filming outside accordingly, and you have rain cover, and you know how it is. Very talented teams. There's great labor there.
Don't forget Manitoba, Manitoba, eh? They need to start filming more in Manitoba. No, I can do a better accent than that. I
can flip you off. I can go say fuck yourself any part of Canada.
How's that?
Please.
You just wave and say, "Have a nice day." You're so polite.
Canadians walk into a room and apologize. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. One thing about working in Canada, though, is sometimes, if you're pitching a project, you want to get the no. If it's a no, it's a no.
Yeah.
And Canadians are too polite to ever say no sometimes. So it's, if it's a no, they were too polite.
One thing I remember in Vancouver when we were building our sets, we had a incredible construction crews that would build these things, but they would go out for lunch and drink like a yard of beer or something, and then come back and be working power tools, and I would be passed out. I mean, I don't know how these guys would do it.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting your crews.
That's why they were so cheap.
Yeah, maybe you brought that out in them. Oh my God, here he comes. I need a drink.
Yeah, I think so.
It reminds me of my grandfather worked at a brewery when he was at home from college, like during the summer. And he says they would give you at this brewery, they'd have breaks. You'd have your mid-morning break and they'd give you a beer, and then you'd have your lunch break and they'd give you a beer, and then you have your mid-afternoon break, they'd give you a beer, and then you get a beer when you get off. But that was just part of the thing back then, man. You had 4 or 5 beers a day while you were working.
Jeez. Oh, geez. Yeah. Times have changed, I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Todd, anything else that you want to talk about that you have going on, or what's next for you after the musical?
Let me see. First of all, my back hurts and my knees been aching and my ankles swollen. I guess you don't want to hear any of that. No, I've got a couple of projects in development, and soon as soon as I have them up and running, I'll come and tell you. I don't want to jinx them yet. And the musical, of course, called "This Strange Paradise," that will be, as I said, we just did our recently our first full orchestrated performance of it. So we want to get it up, and that's just been fun. It's been a lot of fun to do a musical. Really, it's really live theater is fabulous, right? The energy of a different audience every night, and it's really exciting. That's why I like doing comedy, even or television, is that you write something and you film it, and you see it on the air within a matter of weeks. Or you're working on a film for 4 years and nothing ever, it's kind of frustrating. I like that automatic response that you get. But yeah, I've got a bunch of projects going on, and I need to take travel and have somebody be nice to me. Might be nice. That would be a good thing too.
And Todd, you are musical, right? You have a little music bug too. Is that right?
I did. In fact, when I first went to LA, I went to be a songwriter. So I was writing some songs with that, and I wrote with David Foster and Bill Champlin and a bunch of really good musicians. And thought, I'm never going to be that level. But I wrote a bunch of TV theme songs. Let's Make a Deal. They used my theme song for several years. Let's Make a Deal, and they changed it. And a bunch of other shows too. But it's sometimes heartbreaking that to write this beautiful ballad that I poured my heart into, and then I see it on a game show as music underneath the refrigerator plug that they're giving, or they're selling Turtle Car Wax, and that's the song that I wrote, my love song, and it's by Turtle Car Wax, and it didn't have the same resonance.
Are you a pianist? Is that where you write most of your music, on a piano, or?
I beg your pardon. Oh.
Yeah, I know that was a close one.
Yeah, it was. I was a drummer, but then a guitar and piano. I write on guitar and write on piano, both. And then when I needed real, better musicians than me, I'd bring in a bunch of better players than I was.
For the musical, are you involved in writing or producing the music side of it, or?
No, you know what? It was this great playwright in Canada who was a movie executive, and he's had a few plays produced up here, Richard Klagsbrun, and he's very political, and he and I don't always see eye to eye, and that's good. There's a little bit of fireworks and disagreements we have, and he wrote the book and the music, and he wanted to bring me on because he likes my sensibilities. So I'm producing the play with him, and it's been a challenge, and it's been a lot of fun. So, but no, I didn't write the book. I didn't write the music. I'm just there to go to the green room.
There you go. I like that.
Maybe you ought to get a turtle wax scene in there, and we can move your ballad into the.
That's right. That's right.
That's funny.
Is Evan, your son, is he playing music still?
Evan, my son, who graduated from Chapman, was nominated for a Grammy this year.
What?
For producing Charlie XCX video. As a video producer this year, He went to Chapman to produce videos like The Family, and I was a music video producer.
Wow. Oh my God, that's amazing! I didn't know that he was old enough. Like, time freezes in my mind. That's amazing.
I know. You see him in preschool. I see us with the kids running around in preschool, and I look at your pictures too, and everybody's grown and tall, and he's in the business. And I'm hesitant to recommend anybody get into show business. It's so hard, as you know. Yeah. It's so hard.
Yeah.
But he wanted to, and he saw The Family, so he's got some chops too. That kid's got the chops.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations to you and to him. And I'm sure he doesn't remember me, but if you happen to have a chance to say hello to them, please do.
Yeah.
Man, this has been such an honor to have you on, and sounds like you got some things in the works that maybe you can come back and talk about them once they come to fruition.
Thank you. You guys are great. You guys are terrific. You're so easy to talk to and so much fun.
When you don't have an audience, there's no.
You're it, buddy. You're our only audience.
Okay, it's a good start. It's a good start.
Right. Oh my God, Todd.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you
thank
so much.
you guys. Thank
Really,
you so
really
much.
appreciate it.
All right, good. We'll talk later. We'll talk later.
We'll
Sounds
talk
good.
soon. Wow.
Dude, fucking heavy hitter.
Big time
Fucking
heavy hitter, dude.
Yeah.
He's one of our A-listers. We got to add him to that list along with, Angelo Pizzo and my friend Caprita.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. I'm just so excited. I've been trying to connect with Todd for a while.
Man, what a great guy. We could talk to this guy all day. He's funny, he's fun, and he's goddamn good looking too.
I know. It kills me. It's like he hasn't aged a bit.
No,
and
that's crazy.
He's being kind, but I mean, you look at me and
look at you. You're a train wreck.
I'm a total train wreck. Oh my God. Well, dude, it's been so much fun. I can't wait for the next one.
It only gets
All right,
better.
dude.
Until next time.
Later, dude.
Tom and Pete.
Two middle-aged idiots.
This podcast is produced by 224 Media with voice and audio support by Fry on the Fly Productions.